Good evening and welcome to another episode of Music Talk Thursday. I'm your host, BioMuse. Hope that you have been having a fantastic week. It's been crazy busy over here.
Good evening and welcome to another
stuff. Oops.
technical difficulties. Sorry about that.
You have been having a fantastic week.
So this week there was a lot of work and there was some music stuff too, so I get to update you guys on all that fun stuff. I'm going to start out with something that was asked of me. So last week during our chat, I had mentioned that I really like metal, and you guys have heard me say, oh, metal, metal, metal. And those of you who watch my Monday shows like, she never sings any metal. So yes, I like other types of music too. I have probably the most recent addition to my genres of liking, or ones that I've been introduced to, are probably more like techno trancey stuff. Granted, that was like 8 years ago or so that I first heard that on any sort of large scale. Obviously, when they had the mixes on the radios Friday and Saturday nights, you'd hear it there, but I never actually sought out that style of music. But a lot of fun, especially a couple bands out there. Biggest one I can think of right now is Lasco. If you have heard of them, they're a pretty awesome group. A lot of the female vocal trance, I think, is a specific little narrow niche in that overarching genre that I like a lot, obviously, because, hey, female vocals, right? So it's a lot of fun to sing those songs. Metal, of course, always hard for me to sing a lot of those, but it's also quite challenging to come up with a vocal style to match super heavy metal instrumentals. So that'll be a challenge coming up here for me shortly, possibly. And in terms of other types of music, obviously pop, it's on the radio, so I like it and I like singing it. And new age instrumental music I like as well. So I have a very broad musical palette there. So the only genre I'm not the hugest fan of is probably country. Sorry for you country people out there. But I do, there are of course several songs in that genre that I like as well, but I'm not going to go seek out new country songs on a regular basis. So also wanted to say thank you for my extra subscribers. After the post last week, we had 4 more people sign up. We're officially in double digits now. So got up to 10 subscribers as of right before this broadcast. So thank you guys for signing up. Really appreciate it. Again, just a reminder, if it's your first time here with me, if you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button down there, you'll get some updates and help me get to at least 100 viewers so I can start doing mobile broadcasts, which will be fun for all of us. It'll be a new experience for me, and hopefully I can bring you some interesting musically related items from the road. Also, it'll be easier if I'm not here to just be like, hey, road trip, or hey, traveling, and still make sure that I can keep on task. No plans on going anywhere yet, but the time will come because I like traveling. It's fun. And so also updates in terms of working out. I actually went to a fitness class last week. It was fantastic and pretty much destroyed me. I was in pain for the next few days, but the good kind of pain. So it's good. And also yesterday with my work, I had to go cross to multiple buildings and do lots of up and down stairs. So I think 1, 2, 3 flights down, 3 flights up, and probably did that total of about 8 or 9 round trips throughout the day. And it wasn't so like, oh, let's do the stairs. When I do stairs, I'm like, hey, let's hurry up and get up the stairs, or hurry up and get down the stairs, because sooner I get up or down, sooner I can get on to the next part of my task and get that done. So practically Stairmaster and a fitness workout on top of my long walks every day. So it was good. So I am doing that, and I am keeping myself accountable by letting you guys know about that, because otherwise I will be a bad slacker. Bad me. Another thing I want to mention, actually going back to the different genres. So how many of you have been to metal concerts before? Been to techno concerts, been to any type of concert? I'm sure most of you have been to some sort of concert. I've been to see Pet Shop Boys. I've been to see Shania Twain. Hey, Dan. Hi, chat. I've seen a number of metal shows because when I started going to concerts on my own, that was what I had been recently introduced to. So I was pretty much only going to metal shows almost every other week. And, you know, No Doubt and Creed and all those other things. Michael Jackson, actually, my first concert that I ever went to, I was 10 years old, was a Michael Jackson concert. And it was quite impressive. They were renting out binoculars for $10 a pop. And back then, it seemed like a normal thing to do. These days, you rent out binoculars for $10, you ain't getting them back. So I don't know if they still do that in some of those open venues, you know, like the Hollywood Bowl or anything like that. But all the concerts were relatively similar, you know, whether indoor or outdoor, everyone's pretty mellow, sitting back, enjoying the show. Some people are singing in other countries too. In other countries, there was, I think, a lot more singing actually going along. But when people sing in the States, I definitely noticed a lot more on key. But then again, the people I've seen perform in other countries, you know, they're singing, it's not their first language, so I'll give them that. But it's always a lot of fun to have group participation in that. But the difference I see with metal concerts, especially being a female, is for me, when I go to a metal concert, if I don't have anyone to go with and end up going by myself, it's not a big deal. I don't worry about it because a lot of you people out there that have not been to a metal concert, you think, oh, metal and mosh pits and you're gonna get trampled and you're gonna die and you're gonna get a knife to the eye or whatever, you know, whatever things that phrasing, you know, what images that conjures up. Yes, there are mosh pits, usually one big one, sometimes a couple smaller ones, but when I go there, I feel like I am just everybody's baby sister. So I feel very comfortable there because the guys look out for the females there. So for you metal guys that go to concerts, thank you. If you're one of those guys, if you're one of the few that aren't that way, then switch gears, be nicer. Anyways, an experience leading back to that. My first metal concert, Slipknot. So I don't know how many of you have heard of Slipknot. At least they made it on the radio. The show I saw was right before they made it big. So it was absolutely an amazing experience. We stayed toward the back because the person who took me did not want me to be frightened or overwhelmed or intimidated or whatever other things that they may have been thinking. So we stayed further back, which was nice because then I could see the dynamic of the people. And I'm very much a people watcher. It's very fun for me to sit and watch and analyze how people are acting and thinking and responding. And at a metal concert, there's a lot of very different ways people are doing that. So we stayed toward the back and there was basically a circle around us. And I probably had about 2 feet of clearance around me in pretty much any direction except for the one person standing next to me, like right next to me that I went with. And there was an opening, an opening the size of one person. And at some point during the concert, somebody flew through that opening. A guy flew through that opening and knocked me down. I was back up on my feet so fast I didn't even know what happened. Everybody, all the guys that were standing around me, because I was the only female right in that general vicinity, everybody's hands were on my arms lifting me back up and on my feet. So it's like I was back up on my feet before I realized what had even happened. So it's a really amazing culture. So if you have not had the opportunity to attend, if not for people watching, you know, maybe go enjoy some music. But it's really a lot of fun. I also got a pretty good bruise on my shin from someone that backed their heel into it. That's pretty much the worst I've had at any metal concerts that I've been to throughout the years. It was just that first one because I didn't know what to expect. Now I know where to be and what the best places are. It's usually right up front, of course, where everyone wants to be, especially me being short. It's kind of hard to breathe if you're even one row back and everybody's really packed in there. So if you're up front, you can actually get some fresh air. Also, another key thing is if you're going to be near the mosh pit, make sure you've got at least one person in front of you and just kind of posed up. You have your arm right there on the person's arm or back that is between you and the mosh pit. And that way, if they get bumped, you kind of have your little buffer there so you don't fall over. So my middle going tips for today. So hopefully that's helpful to some of you. other things I did this week. So as I mentioned earlier, I think I did a couple of music related things other than singing everywhere I go, of course, and hanging out with you guys on Monday and Thursdays. It does not work for guys. It does not. That's why I specifically said just the girls. But for guys, most of the guys are pretty good with each other as well. Most of them aren't going to start anything unless they start getting drunk or high and doing bad things. So, of course, that's always a possibility. So just be cautious, be aware of your surroundings, generally speaking. So this week I met up with, I know that I mentioned last week that I was supposed to be meeting up with my new friend that's a female that's also a metal lover, and her guys that she plays with. And we were supposed to do that on Friday, but drama happened. Everybody had to kind of back out. So we ended up doing that this week on Monday instead. So after my show on Monday, I drove up there and we hung out for a bit. Everybody was kind of a little bit late and everyone was exhausted, so we didn't hang out for too long. But that being said, I brought my microphone, I had everything ready, set up to sing. But they apparently have not been together musically very long. So they didn't really have anything set or written, no lyrics that I could just pick up and try some things out with. So mostly, I think for about the 15 to 20 minutes that they actually played, I just stood and listened. I was trying to come up with some lyrics there. So I did write up a few things to go with some of the songs that they had. But I did really, really like their music, and they kept saying, man, I'm so exhausted, you know, work's killing me and all that, which I completely understand because that's me most days. But for me, I was absolutely, like, I loved what they had. It was great. And I told them, if that is what you guys sound like when you are exhausted, I cannot wait to hear what you sound like when you are at 100%. So very excited to see where that goes. We are having talks about when to meet up next again. So I'll keep you posted with that and see if that goes anywhere. And then the other thing I did was I attended an event for songwriters to perform, basically like an open mic night. So for those of you who are not familiar with an open mic night, it's basically where you go up and you perform a song or several songs. So there are a few people that were being showcased. So those people were able to do a full set. It was about half an hour each. And then all the people that are there for open mic within that time period got to do one song each to say like, hey, I'm part of this group and this is what I can do. And it's a very nice environment for people who want to collaborate. People like me who, you know, I can do the one thing really well. From comments I'm getting from most people anyways, the singing, which is, you know, why we're here and why I'm doing this. And so other people there have the instrumental part and they're not good at writing lyrics, or they don't like singing, or they don't want to sing, or they just don't have that skill set. So it's a really good forum for people to be able to get together and work on music together, which I think is absolutely fantastic. So we'll see how that goes out and, you know, goes. And maybe I'll get some collaborations in. Spoke with a couple people that are looking for some vocalists. So keeping in touch and seeing if that leads anywhere. And then after that open mic night was over, the place had karaoke coming right after. And so after listening to these wonderful people performing, I was like, hey, well, you guys got to perform. I really want to sing. I've been wanting to sing ever since I've been sitting here listening to the music. So I put my name in and did karaoke. And a number of the people from the open mic night event hung out and we had been speaking. So I got up there and I did my song. And from recommendations previously, I was told I should always open with I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor. So I did that, not having warmed up because I was not prepared to actually sing. I went and hid in the bathroom for a minute to just do like a quick warm up, but not my full 10 to 15 minute warm up that I usually do for singing. So that being said, I got up on stage and all of a sudden, karaoke a bunch of times, I'm always a little bit nervous, but I've never been quite this nervous. I definitely felt a lot more apprehensive about being up there with people who write their own music and are not really more entitled to judge, but they're going to analyze the singing style a lot more than somebody who just listens to music or who just likes to do karaoke. They're going to sit there and analyze every little piece of that. At least that's what I think I would probably do if I were in their shoes. But I don't know, maybe I just worry about everything. That's what I do. So I got up there and I did my song, and I got some amazing feedbacks from all these independent artists that are doing their own thing. Like, wow, we need to get you writing music now, and you should definitely come out to more of the group meetings, and we need to get you up there and singing more now. So they're just so passionate about what they're doing, and that really translated really nicely and made me feel very comfortable and invited into that. So really excited. Again, hopefully that'll lead to some collaborations, and definitely felt a lot more motivated to start working on my own stuff, although I'm always thinking about it. I want to go ahead and finish setting up here so I can get my music station set up. And at that point, what I might do is actually move my station to another part of the house where I just always have a music corner set up, and that will hopefully be good. Another thing also in terms of sound, so of course I'm going to get all the music set up and everything and start practicing my piano, because I need to do that so that I can actually go out and perform open mic nights by myself. Because as I've mentioned previously, I can kind of play piano, I can sing. Doing both at the same time just sounds like a train wreck waiting to happen. So I'm sure it would be that bad. Just sit there and just go, la la la, la la la, all that fun stuff. Because why not? But at this point, I really don't want to go put myself out there and have that happen where, I'm not comfortable. So what I'll do is, before I get to that point, you guys will see it live first here. So once I start getting up to that point, or maybe I'll even, I don't know, maybe once I get a little more comfortable, I can do a couple practice sessions with you guys and get some feedback. So that way I'm already doing a live show before I go out and do an open mic night locally. And I think that should be fun. And in terms of sound here, I know that I've been saying that I'm going to get my sound all set up, and I had it totally booked to sit with my friend Cecily, who's probably on here watching, who just had a live show on Street Jelly, which is another, again, music streaming site that's live. She was just doing her show, and we had set up for yesterday to go ahead and do a sound system setups where I could go ahead and actually have my microphone set up, and so you guys could hear me better and the music at the same time. Hi, Cecily. Thanks for checking in. So we were supposed to do that yesterday, and about an hour before we had this set up, this was supposed to be after I got off work, and she's also 3 hours ahead, which makes scheduling a little bit difficult. But I texted her about an hour before, like, I'm not getting out of here on time. Not only did I was already half an hour over the time I should have gotten out of there. I ended up not getting out of work until, I think I stayed a little over 3 hours over yesterday. So it was a little bit intense, but at least I got my work done with all the running up and down the stairs. But we are rescheduling that sound setup for this weekend, either Saturday or Sunday. We will figure that out tomorrow. And hopefully it will work out so that by this coming Monday, our next Music Monday, I will actually have a good sound system, so that way you guys can hear me and the music better. So we'll have some better quality audio finally. So we'll see. And Cecily is resting her voice and drinking more water after her show. Water is good. Whether you're singing or not, drink water. It's good for you. So yeah, let me see. Oh, yes, 2 other things I wanted to mention. Number 1, I'm asking for recommendations again. I know that I mentioned this last week. I had a request to do 2-song mashup. So it was going to be Spice Girls over Vanilla Ice background music. Hello, Steven. Thanks for hanging out. So with that, I had a couple of different ways that I could think of to do it. So if you could figure out, and recommend to me which way you think I should do it. So number 1 is singing the Spice Girls song the way it's supposed to be over the Vanilla Ice track, singing the Spice Girls lyrics in the style of Vanilla Ice over the Vanilla Ice track, or use the Vanilla Ice track with the Spice Girls lyric and just sing it completely differently. So you guys let me know what you think, and we'll go ahead and get that going. I would like to start working that in the next week or two. So if you guys want to let me know down in the comments below what you think and what your opinion is of how I should do that, I greatly appreciate it. And otherwise, you're going to have to make me decide. I don't like making decisions. So give me some recommendations. Another thing to mention is that we've got some shows coming up this weekend. All right, so again, Friday at the Forum for, I know I mentioned country stuff earlier, so for you country people, we got Trisha Yearwood and Garth Brooks are playing at the Forum tomorrow. And then at the Rose Bowl, so on Saturday, there's actually 2 shows that I would love to actually go to both of. Rose Bowl, you have Gojira, Avenged Sevenfold, which my friend Catherine, if you're watching now or later, I know she likes them a lot, and they're really awesome. And Metallica headlining for those guys. The other show is Echo and the Bunnymen, and the band I know a little better is the Violent Femmes. So Violent Femmes were popular back in the mid-90s, and they were, for people in the LA area, were played on K-Rock a whole lot, KROQ. And so I really like, I think, a song on their album, possibly twice. And then we have, so they're playing at the Violent Femmes and Echo and the Bunnymen are playing at the Pacific Amphitheater. And then at the Honda Center on Sunday, we have Torrin Wells opening for Mariah Carey and Lionel Richie. So that's an interesting little mix. I mean, Lionel Richie, great songs, and Mariah Carey, great songs. I've heard the name Torrin Wells, but I haven't listened to it, so I'm gonna have to listen to that after this show today. But Mariah Carey and Lionel Richie, that didn't sound like the pairing that I would necessarily choose, but both great musicians, and so are great performers. And so we should have a good show on Sunday. For those of you that get a chance to check out any of those or any other shows, please feel free to let me know what you think about the shows that you went to over the weekend, and always feel free to post down below if there are any local shows that you're aware of in your area, so that way you can notify other people that might not want to miss out on those also. Also got a note from someone about the Santa Monica Pier. So apparently this past, about a week ago, Santa Monica Pier does a concert series. I believe it's on Thursday nights, which would make sense why I don't go, because I'm here with you guys. And so anyway, what happened was they had actually closed it off to any additional people coming onto the pier because it was so packed with people that apparently, from what I've been hearing, is that the pier was actually shaking. And I'm nervous enough going up on that thing when it's not super packed. So I don't know how, how I would feel if the pier were actually shaking back and forth. But other than that, that is all I have for you guys tonight, unless you have any other music-y questions or experiences that you guys want to share. But cool. All right, well, I hope that you guys have a fantastic weekend. Again, if there's anything ongoing show-wise, feel free to post it down in the comments below. You can always check out the Facebook and Twitter accounts and post there as well. Also, help me get up to my goal of over 100 viewers. Go ahead and hit subscribe down there. And questions, we've got questions down there. Got some music questions for me? You can go ahead and type them up and I will go ahead and answer what I can for you. And other than that, feel free to make requests for any songs or any mashups that you'd like me to try. So question, Katy Perry versus Lady Gaga, who has a better voice? Question from the audience. You got votes. What's your vote, Cecily? Got Dan is saying Gaga by far. I would have to say, I like both of them, their styles. I definitely like listening to their songs. I think that Lady Gaga probably has a more, she's got more diversity and more ability to do different things with her voice. So I definitely appreciate that. So I probably have to agree. Cecily's also chiming in saying Gaga also. So definitely go with that. Katy Perry also, her music videos are also kind of out there. Of course, not as out there as Lady Gaga because she made a name for herself like that. But definitely have to agree with the masses. What do you think, though, Stephen? What is your preference between those two? And then Linkin Park. I know that I had mentioned Linkin Park. In Chester Bennington had passed last week, and so it's very sad as always. Anytime anyone in the community, be it musician or neighbor or a lot of veterinarians also have to bring light to that. A lot of people are turning to different means of ending their lives, and it's extremely sad. And the best thing I can say again is, with your friends, just pay attention to them and be there for them if they appear down or their attitude seems different. Ask what's going on and say, hey. Again, I'm going to put it this way because I don't think enough people know this. Don't just say, hey, I'm here if you need me. Say, hey, why don't we go catch a movie tonight? Hey, let's go out to dinner. Hey, let's go take a jog through the park. Be specific and set times, because they're not going to reach out to you. If people if people are having problems, they're going to need somebody to pull them out of it. They're not going to be able to heal self in any way that's going to be helpful. So Michael Jackson versus Prince. So you saw Lady Gaga a few years ago, or Katy Perry live? I'm gonna go with Gaga. Cecily says that she has seen, I believe it was Lady Gaga live a few years ago. So, but that would have been an amazing show to watch. And then between Michael Jackson and Prince, I'd have to probably go with Michael Jackson in terms of actually performing. Prince is also fantastic. I have a friend of mine who was totally crushing on Prince for the longest time. Also both very sad when I heard of both of them, but amazing music out of both. And Prince wrote a whole lot of songs that most people are probably not aware of. The most popular, most likely being one that people are now more likely aware of, Nothing Compares to You by Sinead O'Connor. Prince had actually written that song, so really amazing. And then Chance the Rapper. I've heard of that, but I don't know. I'm so bad. I don't follow rap that much. I do sing it occasionally, but it's ridiculous when I do it. So I will probably on one of these Mondays do that for you guys, just so you can have a good laugh. But yeah, Skrillex and all those type of don't kill me. Cecily's a lot better at this than I am. Is that one a dubstep, or is that one of the? I don't even know all the words. There's a bunch of different words for the all those. Like I said, the techno and trance stuff. You have your dubstep, and you have your different, all the different levels in between. But I'm by far not the expert in that. And then I'll go one more comparison here from the chat room. EDM. Okay, so Skrillex is EDM, so electronic dance music. For those of you who, like me, the first time I heard them, like, what does that stand for? So EDM stands for electronic dance music in the music world. In science world, different things. But so last question from here that I have in the chat for this evening is the Annie Lennox versus Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston by far is definitely a favorite of mine. Can't really judge Annie Lennox. I've heard some of her things and they're definitely good, but Whitney Houston is by far a favorite of mine. I've done one of her songs, I think, on one of my Music Mondays, if not two, but I'm sure there will be more in there. But thank you guys so much for hanging out this evening. I really appreciate it. And thanks for actually having some questions on here for me today so we could have a little bit of dialogue, because that's been missing. But again, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and click that subscribe button down there. Feel free to leave some comments down below. And as always, I will see you guys here on Monday night for some music. And that's going to be, again, at 7:30 p.m. Pacific, 10:30 p.m. Eastern. And on Thursdays for some music chat. And also 7:30 p.m. Pacific and 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Hope that you guys have a fantastic weekend. Again, don't forget to check back in with me and let me know how your week went. Have a great night.